There's a group called the Illuminati. Who are the Illuminati?
Make a long story short, there are 13 families that control the resources and the entire planet. Control the resources and the entire planet.
Control the resources and the entire planet.
Let's freaking go, y'all. Welcome back to Unreal Reality, guys. Today, we'll be reacting to creepy and mysterious TikToks that'll make you question everything. If anyone's new out there, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button so this video gets recommended to others. And with that out of the way, let's jump right into it.
The buildings in which we just saw and how heavy they were, right? Tons and tons of stones. Well, here's a stone that probably weighs about 20 tons and can barely move from a truck, right? You're trying to move that, the truck's moving, everything's falling. Right? It doesn't make a lot of sense. And especially, let's say these buildings were built in the 1800s or 1700s when there were only about 1,000 people and none of this technology existed. Well, that's another good question. How on earth did all of those things get built, right? Or moved, or something like this, right? Or something like this. I think it goes to show that when we look into the past, things were very, very advanced, but we were told that we were supposedly, like I said, running around on horses and wagons and on. So we're going to go back to 1893 Chicago, and this is not the Chicago in which I know, right? The Chicago I know does not have statues like this and look anything like this. But this is what Chicago looked like before it was reset, right? The fires that we heard about in Chicago and all those things, they were removing all of this. Look at this detail. This is a completely different city in which we know of today. Because look at this. Look at the architecture. Look at the design. Think of how hard it would be to create all of this, right? We can barely make a little bean and wrap it in mirrored paper, let alone statues like this made out of copper.
Wild.
Right? Look at this archway. Look at the detail here. This is in Chicago. This is old world history, which is not taught about, right? They keep us in the dark. They don't teach us about our true potential and how there used to be a unified, advanced society which built like this all over the world.
So we can't fix potholes, but we built that with horses and chisels? Guys, at this point, lost technology might be the biggest understatement of the century.
There's a group called the Illuminati. Who are the Illuminati?
Make a long story short, there are 13 families that control the resources and the entire planet. And they have their ancestry goes all the way back to Sumerian times. And where they changed into the Babylonians, they became the Khazars. They entered into Europe where they merged with the Celtic remnants or the Atlantean refugees, which became the Merovingians. And then that, over the centuries, broke into 13 distinct families that controlled Europe at the time and then now the entire planet.
And are there names for these families?
Yes, you have the Windsors, the Rothschilds, the Romanovs, the Sinclairs. There's a very wide range of Illuminati, but even more so, the range underneath the 13, which is the Committee of 300, which are 300 families that work very closely in association with the Illuminati to accomplish the goals.
You mentioned that in your book that another way of describing the Illuminati is the New World Order.
Imagine owning the entire globe and your only hobby is generating human misery. They don't want your tax dollars. They want absolute compliance, period.
This tech company, they have officially invented an artificial egg that can fertilize through DNA a living chicken. It has no mother or father. It doesn't come from a real egg. It is purely a creature of science, and it was just born. It would just hatch. And they're doing this because they want to raise an extinct bird called the South Island giant moa. So this is what the artificial egg looks like. It runs at room temperature and fits inside a regular incubator. And apparently they want all sorts of birds. They want to save all the birds. They're big on birds.
Did they learn absolutely nothing from Jeff Goldblum? We are quite literally 5 minutes away from a real-life Jurassic Park disaster.
Google is requesting federal approval to release 32 million mosquitoes in California and Florida as part of its debugging program. The plan is to release insects that are male because they do not bite or carry disease like their female counterparts. The hope is that these mosquitoes that are less likely to bite will mate with the females as a way of population control. Here's how it works.
They put this bacteria into the mosquitoes and it makes them sterile. If they go and mate with wild female mosquitoes, there's very few progeny in the next generation. If they do this on a large enough scale, the mosquito population is going to crash. They're fighting mosquitoes with mosquitoes.
This is fascinating. I'm fascinated by this. Google has filed a permit with the EPA for the project. It's not clear exactly where in California and Florida the mosquitoes would be released.
Great. They have weaponized the mosquitoes. Guys, they are quite literally debugging the ecosystem. What could possibly go wrong? What? That's wild. I don't know, guys. Is it a teleporting interstellar UFO? Or is it just a $5 laser pointer bought at Walmart? Let me know what y'all think down below.
Guys, do you remember those missing scientists that the FBI was investigating?
Oh, yeah.
Because the list just officially grew again and they still do not know what's happening.
Wow.
The new scientist that was just added, her name was Melissa, and she worked at one of the most secure nuclear labs in the world. She's actually been missing for almost a year now, but a hiker just found her over the weekend in a national forest. Her case is now officially included in the White House investigation, and the FBI, the Energy Department, and the Department of War are all investigating it together right now.
Well, an almost year-long missing persons case has been solved, but now there are plenty of new questions. New Mexico State Police found remains. State Police then determined they were the remains of missing Los Alamos National Laboratory worker Melissa Casillas.
Trump has already made a statement about this weeks ago, and he said that this is pretty serious stuff. And then the White House press secretary said that no stone will be unturned. But then the Department of Defense came forward and they told Congress that they're not going to be investigating anything at all. So what are you gonna do then? The FBI is still saying right now that there is no proof that any of these cases are even connected in the first place, and they ruled some of them as self-inflicted. But obviously people are not buying it, and the list keeps on growing. The question really is, do you guys think that something is going on here, or is it all just normal?
Yeah, 14 dead geniuses is far from a coincidence. Guys, at this point, hiking accident is nothing but corporate lingo for knew way too much.
They're saying that everyone born between 1980 and 1993 has the same exact mole on their left arm. Now, I thought this was a bunch of bullshit, y'all, until every single person that I've asked so far actually has had one. Check your arm and tell me if this is real or not. This might be a coincidence, a bunch of bullshit, or I might be losing my mind, but I actually have two of them.
Me too.
1, 2.
Wow.
Check your arm.
Well, my mind is officially blown. I happen to have them in both spots as well, guys. Check your arms and let me know if y'all have them too.
What you are looking at could become the world's first lawless floating city, and it's intended to change the way we live forever. It's called the Freedom Ship. And when it was first conceptualized all the way back in the 1990s, the idea was to create a permanent floating city in international waters so people could escape from every government on Earth and live freely away from things like taxes, laws, and regulations. And because in 2026, that sounds more appealing than ever, the plans to build this ship are now being revived. It can carry over 80,000 passengers or citizens. Keep in mind, the largest current cruise ship can only carry 7,600. It would be about 1 mile long and 800 feet wide and have almost everything a city could offer. Multiple hotels, a 15,000 seat sports stadium, water parks, helipads, a symphony hall, an aquarium, restaurants, and the list goes on. Oh, and to top it all off, it would be nuclear powered. But there's two major drawbacks. Firstly, the estimated cost to build this Freedom Ship is $16 billion. And secondly, the whole no laws idea might sound fun at first until some crazy shit happens on here that you can't go back from. For example, the company behind this project is saying that they're already being hit up by medical research firms specifically because this ship would operate outside of any regulatory body
so they can test
on Earth. So don't know what those experiments would be. But the question is a lawless floating city a good idea or not?
Great, just what we needed. A 1 mile long floating circus filled with nothing but mad scientists and zero human rights laws. What could possibly go wrong?
Hey guys, This is James Franco, me, really James Franco. I'm here at my house. I'm not promoting anything, okay? I'm making this account because, all right, some serious shit's going on, okay? And, look, here. This is real, okay? I'm real. It's me, not AI, not anything, okay? Could, AI James do this?
Yes.
Could not write this. This is me, okay? Okay? For those who know, all right? Some serious stuff going on. That's why I'm contacting you. That's why I'm doing this, okay? I know
Isn't he
maybe
canceled?
seem crazy. Like, why am you know, what's going on? What's the gimmick? No. This is real. Real. Okay, I can't say too much right now. I just need you to follow me. Then I'll know who's down. And I'm gonna show you some crazy stuff, okay? Just follow me. I'm gonna show you.
Look, the fact he's trying to aggressively convince us that he's a real human is ironically the exact reason I don't trust it. What is going on here, guys?
I basically have an aimbot in my head.
So, that's crazy.
Yeah, they'll probably have like different leagues for people like me because it's just not fair.
Wow, is it that accurate?
It's that accurate, and it's faster. One thing that I found with the Neuralink is something that kind of blew my mind too, is that when I'm attempting to do stuff sometimes, or I'm thinking it to like move in a certain place, sometimes it's so good that it's moving before I even like think it to move. It's almost like if you think about moving your hand, the signal is basically already being sent before you move your hand. Like your mind is saying, okay, he's about to move his hand basically. So the signal needs to be sent all the way down and back up in order for you to move your hand. So the speed that all of that happens, and it's almost a little preemptive. I saw that with the Neuralink, where it was moving the cursor before I was actually moving my hand. So.
Wow.
Yikes. Imagine getting your brain hacked by a 14-year-old playing Fortnite because your Neuralink glitched. Guys, we have officially crossed over into dystopian territory.
A massive underground tunnel connecting San Diego and Mexico has just been found under a fake retail store called Buy for Less in San Diego. They found over a ton of coke worth about $45 million.
Wow.
The footage inside of this thing is insane. The tech inside of it just tells you how long this actually has been around. So take a look. It's about 55 feet deep. This thing has a sophisticated hydraulic lift. It extends over 1,000 feet to the United States-Mexico border and 800 feet into Tijuana. It's operated using a rail and cart system, and it's equipped not only with electricity but air condition as well. They charged 2 Mexicans and 2 Americans, possibly facing prison for life. They noticed that the store had absolutely no traffic, and the only men leaving the store, they were carrying suitcases and loading trucks with freezers. Wow. Now, the first thing I thought, obviously, when this article first came out was how many of these actually are there? And number 2, they need to investigate those mattress stores. They are so big, there are so many of them, and I've never seen anyone ever inside one of those stores.
Right, because nothing says cartel smuggling hub quite like an empty storefront with 0 customers and a refrigerated step van parked out back.
By the way, this is real footage. These groups are in the shadows, and they really do exist. Now, here's a perfect prime example. Yous are watching this, and I know half of yous, there'll be no shock value to this, because let's be honest, you see things like this all the time. That's the desensitization of it. You see it in music videos, in horror movies. So literally what we're seeing on the screens now to use is probably nothing. Do you not see that that is an issue? I do not watch horror films, but you can ask Rhea Reacts yourself. Got roped into watching one, and do you know what happened? And I promise you this, in the middle of the night, something ran up the stairs. Don't know what, but it sounded like 3 people running up the stairs. This ain't a ghost channel, but I promise you, on my heart, the lesson to learn is be careful what you let in.
Imagine building a multi-million-dollar boardroom just to worship Baphomet. Maybe the conspiracy theorists were right, guys. Maybe the world is run by a secret devil cult.
People are saying that the ending of the movie Smile 2 might be about Wendy Williams. Way back in 2017, Wendy Williams would collapse live on air on her own talk show. Roll it.
was a lot of fun. Let's get started. Our first caress.
Oh, that's crazy. I never
Now,
saw it.
obviously, after that clip rolled on TV, millions of people were concerned about the welfare of Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams and her team wrote this off as her just being too hot in her costume, but many people think it's much deeper than that. I encourage you to watch that clip back if you didn't catch it. As you see here in this picture, it looks like Wendy Williams literally sees something on stage that causes her to take a few steps back before actually passing out and falling to the floor. Ironically enough, in one of the final scenes in the movie Smile 2, pop star Sky Riley is approached by whatever you want to call this. We're going to say it's a dark entity. Is it possible that this scene in Smile 2 is actually a play off what happened in 2017 with Wendy Williams? Comment below with your thoughts. Am I on to something or am I tripping this time, guys?
If that ending is actually a parody of her collapse, that is completely unhinged. It's like Hollywood looked at her worst day ever and said, yeah, that'll sell tickets. Let's do it.
So you know all these data centers that keep going up all over the place? Those are connected to 6G and the robots. That's why they're pushing that stuff so hard. People are wondering why they keep pushing these AI data centers so much. AI data center, you got to look this up. It's called AI Iran, okay? And what are we in right now? What war are we in right now? Iran's war, right?
Come on.
Well, there, if you look up, it's called AI Iran. That is the connection to 6G, and that is the connection to the data centers, and that is what they're going to do next. So when they're pushing these data centers, people need to push back against this stuff because that is the Terminator coming into real life. This is why they're trying to put the data centers in each state right there. Each state has these data centers because when they roll out these robots, these drones, these robot things that try to move around and, you know, whatever else they do, that is the connection to that. And I was going through it and I was like, wait a minute. So they're distracting people with the war, right, while they roll out the technology with the exact same name. Think about that. That's what they do. Every single time, they always cover things up. They always, whatever the word is right here, they will put out something like a song or a music video or something like that to get rid of that name. And they've done this with, like, you look up Tesla and you find an electric vehicle now. You don't find Nikola Tesla, you find an electric vehicle. So they do these things to get rid of one thing so you don't look that up, and then now you switch it over here. So that is the 6G push, and the 6G is crazy when it comes to it.
Talk about irony. They're taxing us so they can build the digital cage that they want to put us in. We're quite literally funding our own automated replacements with our own money.
What? I would love for somebody from the government, county, or somebody to come down and I'd like for you to drink it. That's what I want you to do, drink it, see how you like it. That's disgusting. That's a brand new well, $11,000 well that me and my grandmother had to get drilled here. Yeah. And now, 5-6 years later, we got to deal with this.
That's strange. That doesn't look like tap water. That looks like a straight up biohazard. Paying 11 grand to have scrambled eggs come out of your faucet is wild.
I got a rubbery watermelon. The texture is so weird. Like, you gotta bend it so far before it will break.
You guys, I got a rubbery avocado. Wait, I need to shit. This is insane.
Oh.
Oh. Disgusting. Banana is not supposed to bend that way.
But you look at this. Just look at this. This is supposed to be an orange.
Come check this.
Ariana, what are you doing here?
Yikes.
I thought it was watermelon season.
But since when is watermelon doing this? I'm trying to break it.
Since when does a peeled banana bend like a piece of plastic? This is not food, guys. This is a synthetic biohazard masquerading as food.
Apple's reportedly testing AirPods with built-in cameras, but they're not for taking photos. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman,
Apple's camera-equipped AirPods have reached an advanced testing stage, and if they actually launch, they could become one of Apple's first true AI wearables. So why would AirPods need cameras? The idea is to give Siri eyes. These cameras would reportedly capture low-resolution visual information, so Siri could help identify objects, understand your surroundings, give better directions, or answer questions about what you're looking at. Rumors also suggest they could support gesture controls, so things like hand movements might control volume, playback, or other features. The design is expected to look similar to AirPods Pro, but with longer stems to fit the extra hardware. Reports also say there could be a small LED indicator that turns on when visual data is being processed. Apple could launch them as a higher-end version of AirPods Pro, or possibly even brand them as AirPods Ultra. Would you buy them, or is this too weird? Let us know in the comments below, and follow for more content like this.
Great, as if Siri wasn't creepy enough blind, now we're literally giving her sight. Guys, if my earbuds can see what I'm looking at, I am never putting them on.
Disney has been caught conducting biometric scans on families' faces. Yes, including children at their parks without clear consent, allegedly. And is now facing a multi-million-dollar class action lawsuit. The suit claims Disney's new entrance system photographs guests, turns their faces into biometric measurements, all while visitors, including children, receive a little more than small and easily overlooked opt-out signs near select lanes. Plaintiffs say this flips privacy rights upside down. Instead of asking guests to opt in, Disney allegedly makes families figure out how to opt out. Disney currently denies the claims. Follow along for updates.
Ah, yes. Welcome to Disney. Come for the roller coasters and leave with your entire family's biometrical data stolen. Thanks, Walt.
A lot of golf courses, America in particularly has a large amount of golf courses, like more than anywhere else by far per capita. And you add all of those golf courses and the amount of government-owned land, National Park Service land, and there is a large amount of this country that truly isn't publicly owned or publicly accessible. These golf courses, I believe, are a big site that are sectioned off. You add up just how much of this land is restricted and government owned, and that is exactly how they hide all this stuff. Half Moon Bay in California, there's a big golf course, big private country club golf course area, and right off the cliffside, there is a huge buried, like Greek-looking Romanesque column system there. And they say it was like a support system for some failed project they built. But if you take a look at it, it looks very obvious. But a lot of it's kind of torn away now. You can look at those coordinates right there in Google Earth yourself. If it's real. Highly recommend doing it. I look on the street view, like on the beach itself. And you can see like the column still to this day. Though a lot of it is removed and taken away. They said it was like some failed project that they were working on, but who just leaves those pillars there, especially when it's a big hoity-toity country club like the Ritz-Carlton. So this is right off the coast.
Mavericks.
Popular beach cove. And you look at the country club and you can kind of see it eroded away a little bit right there.
That's crazy. Is this real?
There's the columns here, here, here. You click the little street view guy and go back up here, and you can see some really good shots from the street view of it. There you go. Just look how old they look. This one looks very like just completely weathered and eroded away. But I bet this whole beach area has stuff like that. You can see like that whole artificial line right here as well.
Crazy.
As you go through the coast. They say it was some kind of failed project and they decided to just leave the work there.
That's crazy. Who knew? My favorite surf break was sitting right on top of a fake history cover-up. I thought the craziest thing at Mavericks were the giant waves. not the hidden Roman pillars.
This scientist claims he found proof of the Matrix using nothing more than an ordinary red laser, and what he discovered sounds absolutely insane.
What?
He used a basic construction laser, the same kind builders use every day, but he slightly changed the settings so the laser lines became thicker and blurred instead of perfectly sharp. When he pointed it at a wall and stared closely at the light, something disturbing supposedly appeared. Tiny numbers, strange symbols, and hidden patterns started covering the surface, almost exactly like the code from the movie The Matrix. And the creepiest part is this. According to him, these weren't random patterns at all. He believes this could actually be the hidden structure our reality is built from. What shocked people even more is that everyone who looked into the laser claimed they saw the same thing. Not a single person said they saw nothing. Some even described the feeling as if the laser was opening a doorway into another layer of reality, where the hidden structure of the world could be seen. And the most terrifying part about this discovery is that it could prove our reality is nothing more than a computer simulation created from this hidden code. So, what do you think? Did this scientist actually discover a way to glimpse the structure of reality, or was it all just an illusion created by the mind?
Imagine trying to hang a shelf and accidentally finding the Matrix grid. That's not just a reflection, that's occult symbolism hidden in plain sight.
Sam Altman didn't build AI. Neither did Elon Musk. Neither did Jeff Bezos.
Nope.
Let me tell you who did. In 1956, a group of scientists gathered at Dartmouth College. Math professor John McCarthy, along with Marvin Minsky, Nathaniel Rochester, and Claude Shannon, coined the term artificial intelligence. They received a $7,500 private grant to study whether machines could think. What followed was decades of funding from DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, the same government agency that invented the internet, paid for by American taxpayers. That's where AI was actually born, not in a Silicon Valley garage, in a classroom, in a government lab, paid for by us. Then Altman, Bezos, and Musk showed up and claimed to own it. They didn't write Shakespeare. They didn't discover penicillin, but they scraped all of it. Every book ever written, every photo ever taken, every song, every story, every medical record, everything ever written by every author in the history of the world, without asking, without paying, without telling you, then built a subscription wall around your own history and charged you to get in. That's not innovation, that's theft. DARPA built the internet with your tax dollars in the 1960s. A generation later, Google built a search engine on top of it and kept access free, funded by ads. You got access, they got your data, and exchange. The courts are catching up. 500,000 authors sued Anthropic, backed by Jeff Bezos, for downloading millions of pirated books to train its AI. The settlement?
It's crazy.
$1.5 billion. Bezos didn't write a single one of those books. He funded the company that stole them. Now let me tell you about a different kind of wealthy man. Andrew Carnegie was the richest man in the world, a Scottish immigrant who arrived in America with nothing, built a steel empire, then gave away 90% of his fortune. Carnegie built a partnership. Communities provided the land, the books, the staff. He provided the building. Together they built 2,509 free public libraries, called them ladders for the aspiring to climb. Said in his own words, the man who dies rich dies in disgrace. His foundation is still giving millions to libraries today, 100 years after his death. This week, Jeff Bezos went on national television and said, I quote, "You could double the taxes I pay and it's not going to help that teacher in Queens." Carnegie gave everything back. A century later, his foundation is still giving. Bezos just won't. They took the entire accumulated knowledge of human civilization, everything we learned, created, and passed down across thousands of years, and claimed to own it. The internet changed how we access information. AI is replacing the humans who process it. That's not an upgrade. That's a takeover, built on what we created, without asking, without paying. If Carnegie could see what they're doing today, what do you think he'd say? Drop it in the comments.
AKA, these billionaires are just the public face for this massive DARPA project. AI isn't some trendy new tech startup, it's a 1950s Pentagon weapon.
I get asked, what got you so interested in this in the first place? I'm going to have you come along with me and run an errand. And if your city is taking the bait and adding flock cameras or another third-party ALPR, this is a dystopian preview of what your life will be like.
I'm just picking up a pizza, but let's just show you what 2 miles is like.
Watch this.
There's our first one. And then there are 3 on the same pole here, so that is a total of 4. Right now I'm imagining what it would be like if they spent my tax dollars on improving this traffic flow.
Or potholes.
There's number 5. And 6, 7, way back there. Number 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
wild,
and 14. We've traveled just under 2 miles here, so that's an average of 7 cameras per mile tracking every single person who drives on this road and storing that data for 30 days. And every single errand that I run, every place that I go, and everything that I do is searchable by police without requiring a warrant or even probable cause.
Wild.
And that's because, apparently, it is imperative that over 5,000 law enforcement agencies across the United States and the federal government knows that I picked up a pizza and walked my dogs yesterday. And turning this particular 2-mile stretch of road into a George Orwell exhibit costs over $42,000 a year. And my property taxes have literally doubled in the last 3 years. And this is not even addressing the fact that I have repeatedly highlighted and demonstrated just how easy it is to get data from these cameras without permission, or how I found flock accounts on the dark web that do not require 2-step verification, or how cops all over the country are getting caught using these cameras to stalk their love interests, or how flock employees have been found accessing third-party indoor cameras in a daycare and gym in a community center. Doesn't all this just make you feel really safe? Not only have I not voted or consented to this, I've never even had the option to do so. I have no option of opting out, and I'm f***ing paying for it. So if your city is currently debating on spending your tax dollars on these cameras, this is a glimpse of things to come.
Hitting 14 mass surveillance cameras just to pick up a pizza is straight up dystopian. I guess privacy is officially an outdated thing of the past.
I just bought a human shoulder bone.
Here?
Yeah.
Can we see it?
Absolutely.
I didn't know they had the human ones here. I thought it was like a, okay.
If you go down here on the left-hand side, there is a gentleman who has a whole
let's see it.
booth. And he is the one that I got the human finger bones from. And then when I went over there, he remembered me and told me he had brought this. And this is a human shoulder bone. And it's in really good condition.
Buying human shoulder and finger bones from a convention booth is wild. They're quite literally selling human remains right next to the regular merch. So that's all I got for this one. Leave us a comment. Let us know your thoughts. Smash that like and subscribe button. Fam, we're on the road to 200,000 subscribers this year. Go sub. The members group is open. Come join, and we'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.